Alright, so we have some hot fixes coming for the next reset. Last set of hot fixes before we start season 2. So we are just gonna jump into it, look at how that looks, and maybe try to use my 2 brain cells. Speculate a bit, but yeah, let's go and let's check that. So WoW hotfixes update 5th of May. So there's a bunch of stuff. But first of all, okay, Friend of the Fae and Waning Twilight now affect only Druid class damage. Okay, yeah, I could see how that could have been broken with some of the new trinkets. Makes sense. Let's see, there was something else I was looking for. Maybe it's in another one. There's a bunch of stuff here though. So go on to the forums and check that out. I am trying to... Oh yeah, that's already updated. There is supposed to be a new one. Alright, let me just find that for you quickly. Alright, so I did eventually find it. It was on Wowhead, not on WoW's official webpage. So in response to data and feedback immediately following the Embers of Northarian patch, we're planning to make adjustments to several classes. This tuning includes changes to talents in the live game and the testing values of several items that will soon become available in Season 2. The following will take place during the scheduled weekly maintenance in each region. So it's May 9th in the US, so it's the 10th for us. There's a bunch of changes you can check out here, basically, but we're more interested in the balanced druid side of things. So developers notes, in some single target scenarios it's still looking optimal to cast Wrath in Lunar Eclipse. That doesn't meet our goal for how balanced should play. Fair enough, I agree. So we're reducing Wrath's effectiveness outside Solar Eclipse and increasing its effectiveness inside Solar Eclipse to correct this. We're also boosting Balance's single target damage a small amount. Yeah, I feel that's warranted. I mean, they did nerf our AoE and buff the single target, but that didn't feel like it was that big of a deal. Like before we were like kings of AoE and then we did bad single target. Now it's like we do okay single target and we do okay AoE. Well, I mean, we do pretty good AoE, not gonna lie, but still. But it's not as good as it was, and the single target isn't like spectacular in any way. So Wrath Astral Power Generation reduced to 8, it was 10. And then Wrath damage decreased by 5%. Okay, so they decrease the Astral Power Generation and the damage. How does that work? Okay, let's see. Solar Eclipse now increases Wrath's damage by 40%, was 20. Okay, so they nerf the damage by 5% and then they buff the new amount by 40 instead of 20. Okay, yeah, this is very slight damage increase. Soul of the Forest now increases Wrath's Astral Power Generation, while in Solar Eclipse by 60%, was 30. So it used to be 30% astral power generation more on 10, so that was around 13, 14 astral power, 13 probably. Closer to 13 astral power from a Wrath while in Eclipse. Now 60% from 8. God. I'm gonna do something you never should. I'm gonna expose my terrible math skills. So 80%. Okay, so it used to be... let's see. Oh, wow, I missed a 0 apparently. Okay, yeah, so it used to be 13 within the solar eclipse, and now we have 60% on 8 instead. So 8 times 0.6 is 4.8 plus 8 is less. Okay, so 0.2 less astral power generation. Did they do that math right? Because this, I hope I did. Pretty easy math, it should be. And let's see, damage wise. Okay, so let's say we have 20, let's be optimistic. So 20k for a Wrath, right? So they decrease that by 5%. So 0.05 is 1000. Okay, so we're working with 19. This is very optimistic. And then the solar eclipse increases Wrath damage by 40%. So that is... okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, 26.6. And if we have that, and then we had 30% extra, right? That was 26. Okay, that's not... yeah, that's very slightly. That's actually an... I mean, 26,000, and that was 26.6. And the astral power generation is lower? And they're saying that they're increasing its effectiveness in solar eclipse? What? Fail! Fail, Blizzard. That's actually... it's like the damage, you're not gonna feel it. Basically. It's so insignificant. And the astral power generation is gonna be slightly less. Right? But one thing is for sure, it's gonna feel even worse when you're not in solar eclipse. So instead of buffing our single target damage, what they're saying, we are also boosting balances single target damage a small amount. Let's see how that... okay, that's definitely not for the solar eclipse. So they basically nerf Wrath a lot. Well, they nerf it and then they buff it slightly to compensate. So overall, the Wrath, the only change is that you really don't want to cast a Wrath outside of solar eclipse if you are not gonna do AoE, so you can go into lunar eclipse. But other than that, it's like they basically just made it this change. It's a mechanical change just to make sure that you're not spamming Wrath in lunar eclipse. Okay, well that's fine, I guess. I would rather take a little bit more astral power. I don't know. Okay, so nothing spectacular there. Basically, never use Wrath outside of solar eclipse unless you're trying to go into lunar eclipse, but that was already the case, at least from my perspective. But I guess they've seen otherwise. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Doesn't affect me at all. Damage dealt by fairy dragons summoned by denizens of here they go. Buffing our denizens of the dream. They really want us to have fairy dragons for some reason. You know, Blizzard loves fairy dragons. Increased by 25%. That's quite a lot. Friend of the Fae now increases your arcane and nature spell damage by 10%. Okay, so yeah, that's the single target buff that they're talking about. Okay, you know, I'd rather see that they did something different. Like maybe, I don't know what that would be, but alright. Over the course of a raid fight, that's gonna make quite a difference. Alright, so not that big of a change. Basically, the first part of this post is just addressing the issue with casting Wrath in lunar eclipse, which I am perfectly fine with. Like I agree. I think it's a good change because that is just counterintuitive and that's not how the spec is meant to be played, so that's completely fine. And this is just me bitching about the Fair Dragons, but in the end you're gonna do more damage. I'm just a little bit sad about it because it doesn't, you know, it's like the Fair Dragon, you don't have to do anything again, it's like just a proc, and, you know, that's my personal opinion. But you're gonna do more damage, single target. This will not, I don't think, have any effect on I mean, when you're playing on weeks, like in Mythic Plus, where it's fortified, I believe, where the trash packs are being buffed, then maybe you go without this. But on Tyrannical, when the bosses are doing more damage and with more HP, then maybe I think even Mythic Plus with Friend of the Fae, just to give you that extra boost in single target, would actually be useful. But yeah, nothing spectacular, it's just, you know, a buff is a buff. We take buffs. So yeah, alright, that's it. Short one. And yeah, have fun in Season 2. I know I will. I'm probably gonna just spam content. So yeah, in a week's time we're gonna have new gear and stuff like this. See you then. Adios.